My name is Brian. This is where MAGA comes to talk, and we're going to go live in seconds. On my other stream, we'll be taking live calls and covering everything that's going on, and a lot is going on, right? Okay, if you're new, make sure you subscribe. All right, if you want to call in, the number is pinned in the live chat. Here we go. Welcome to the program, everyone. My name is Brian Craig. This is where MAGA comes to talk. Thanks for tuning in. We got a lot to cover. So much has been happening, and I'm going to start with, well, what can only be described as an apology from Charlie Kirk over this, I don't know, almost like a Never Trumper rally. They almost got going at Turning Point USA in Tampa, Florida over the weekend. And let me give you just a little background on what happened, and then we'll get to the apology of Charlie Kirk. Now, if you're new to the program, I do take live calls. If you're watching live on YouTube, the toll-free number to call me is pinned in the live chat, and you're certainly welcome to call me live on the air. The number is 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. Okay, so all the talk last week of the files and the list and Bondi, and then Friday, Dan Bongino dropped this big thing that he was going to resign his position as deputy director of the FBI if Bondi didn't leave the Justice Department, the Attorney General. And of course, Trump stood by her and all of that. And what had happened at Turning Point is someone went out on stage first. I think it was Charlie Kirk who did this first, but I'm not 100% sure. I did see when I woke up on Saturday morning, I saw all these highlights from the speakers at Turning Point in Tampa. And they went on stage and started taking polls among the 1,000 youth in attendance on the files and the list and Pam Bondi and everything. And after one person did it, and they got just the audience going nuts, everyone did it. Okay, you had Charlie Kirk, Laura Ingraham, Tucker Carlson, Steve Bannon, and it was a snowball effect. It got bigger and bigger. And then on Saturday, President Trump dropped this humongous post on Truth Social telling people, stop talking about Epstein, leave Pam Bondi alone, leave Kash Patel alone, leave Dan Bongino alone. And it just kept going all weekend long, and it got worse, and it got worse. And what happened, because Turning Point and the people that were there, everything's getting posted to social media, it started to go semi-viral over the weekend. And President Trump's post on Truth Social, for the first time, was filled with just negative comments attacking him. And then those comments were getting comments. And, one thing people haven't factored into this, a lot of liberals are on Truth Social now, don't you know? Gavin Newsom's been there for a long time. A lot of liberals are on Truth Social. That's just the way it is, okay, guys? So you got to accept that and kind of get used to that. But when President Trump put this post out on Truth Social, stop talking about Epstein, stop attacking Pam Bondi and all this stuff, it really was a communication to the people at Turning Point to cut this stuff out. And they continue to do it. The only person I saw at Turning Point USA that was doing the right thing was Roger Stone, who I played on the stream this morning, some of the Roger Stone talk, and Roger Stone did the right thing. But anyway, Charlie Kirk went on the air today. I'm going to play this for you, and it's really an apology. And he looks and sounds terrified. Now, full disclosure, I'm a huge fan of Charlie Kirk. He just messed up. Everybody messes up. If you're out there talking publicly every day like I do or Charlie Kirk does, every once in a while you're going to screw up. It just happens. But what Charlie Kirk did at Turning Point was just, it was really bad. And, well, let me play it for you. It's short. It's Charlie Kirk. And to me, he looks terrified. Okay. So, so he's moving on. And by the way, I've moved on too. The president has spoken. I mean, yesterday was the first anniversary of the Never Trumpers shooting the president in Butler, and you've got Charlie Kirk at Turning Point turning Turning Point into some liberal rally of Never Trumpers. I mean, in general, it's a bad idea and wrong what he was doing, but especially this weekend when President Trump is to be respected and honored for everything he went through, to turn a MAGA event into a hate fest against Trump is insane. Okay, but I don't know if that got picked up on the mic. It is hurricane season here in Florida. I'm in South Florida, guys. It's hurricane season, and we have our first really bad storm with lots of thunder and lots of lightning. I wouldn't be surprised if the power gets knocked out. So I don't know if did that pick up on the mic, that lightning that just went off pretty close to the house? I just had a surge protector added to my house not too long ago, to the entire house. So, oh man, I tell you, when you live in Florida, hurricane season, it's rainy season, it's no big deal. We're used to it. You got to prepare when the hurricanes come, but this is what it is, during rainy hurricane season. But anyway, back to this. Our movement is very, very united, and it's important for the movement to stay united. And what's happened from time to time, it started during the campaign with DeSantis and Nikki Haley, but even after Trump was in the White House for the second time, there's some people, Tucker Carlson, Steve Bannon are the two most guilty, are always undermining President Trump. And if you haven't noticed, Tucker and Steve Bannon are kind of on the outs. And so many people, when Tucker talks, everybody listen. Whenever Trump is in a tough situation or does something big and the media go against him, he's really cowardly, if you think about it. He's always throwing Trump under the bus and running for the hills. Remember about a year and a half ago or so, a tape came out of him that someone on the Fox News set recorded of Tucker talking after January 6th, and he was trashing Trump, and he was like fuming angry at President Trump after January 6th. Remember that? It was crazy. During the shutdowns and lockdowns, Tucker Carlson didn't think Trump was doing enough and didn't think he was doing things right. And he was vocal about this, and then he got in his car, because he's got a fancy place in Palm Beach, or at least he did. I don't know if he still does, but he did at the time. And Tucker Carlson, can you imagine? He got in his car. This was during Trump's first term, during the lockdowns. Unannounced, drove to Mar-a-Lago, went to the gate of Mar-a-Lago, and demanded to see the president. And Trump actually saw him. And then Tucker went in there and told President Trump everything he was doing wrong and what he should be doing. The arrogance. And if you remember, not that long ago, just a couple weeks ago, when President Trump took out the nuke sites in Iran, Tucker was trashing him for that. And then here over the weekend at Turning Point, he was trashing Trump yet again. So I don't know why now again, Tucker sometimes says things that we like. And, when I say we, I mean you and me, and we see some interviews. Okay, and he's done some good work. That's true, but he's not a Trump supporter. He's always undermining Trump. He's always trashing Trump, Tucker Carlson. And anytime Trump needs friends, Tucker Carlson is with the other side, at least for a while. Then he comes back and tries to be one of us. So I don't know exactly, when you think about it, Tucker's done so much trashing of Trump and all of our people over the years. I'm starting to wonder why in the MAGA movement do we put Tucker on this pedestal when we're ever in a difficult time or the media is giving Trump a hard time? He's like, I don't know who these people are, right? I mean, it's very strange the way Tucker acts, isn't it? And it's rather cowardly, and it was, so, and Bannon has been under I like Steve Bannon. You guys like Steve Bannon, right? But he's been on the outs. He's been trashing, not Trump directly, but things Trump's been doing for a long time. He seems to have gotten on board. Now, what happened with Charlie Kirk here, let me play this clip again, if you're just tuning into the program. This is Charlie Kirk today, and what I would consider to be an on-air apology to the president. Okay, so he's done. He's moving on. That's right. And there's a lot of people that are in the influencer crowd. And I know everybody says they don't like the term influencer. I mean, I'm an influencer. He's an influencer. These people are influencers. I hate that. It's kind of a weird thing to say. But yeah, everybody says they hate it, but we all say we're that. But what's going on now, and if you've been following me the last 3 or 4 days, you'll hear it with phone calls I've taken. And there's a lot of fake MAGA out there. There's a lot of liberals that try to pass themselves off as Trump supporters. Sometimes you'll hear me when I'm taking calls, and you'll hear someone and they'll start by saying, I voted for Trump twice. I voted for him in November. I voted for him in 2016. I voted for him 3 times. But and you'll hear me say, get to the but. And then they'll throw him under the bus, right? Right. They've been with him from the beginning since he got there, even before the escalator. I was with him back there in New York in the 70s, but now, you know what I mean? So there's a lot of the people you see on social media, okay, are fake MAGA. And what was happening at Turning Point this weekend, and someone talked to Charlie Kirk, obviously. I mean, do you guys agree he seems a little scared there? I don't know if it was the president. I don't know if it was donors. The thing about Charlie Kirk, and I've been a fan of Charlie Kirk, and I still am, he just made a mistake over the weekend. We'll give him a break, okay? He's done the right thing now. We'll give Charlie a break, because he's done a lot of good work, and he got wrapped up in something. But I've sensed from Charlie Kirk quite a bit, actually, over the last couple of years when I tune into his podcast. I don't listen to his podcast too much. If I'll see a clip like this on X or something, but sometimes I'll turn on his podcast, and he seems to me to be under a lot of pressure. And what's going on in Republican circles, we're not in the presidential election year. The midterms are not the presidential election year. And a lot of people that are like Charlie, in Charlie Kirk's position, that depend on donor support, the donor support is down right now because it's not a presidential election year. Even the midterms, they're down. So a lot of them are desperate to be relevant. A lot of the so-called new media and influencer crowd are so concerned about views and tweets and going viral and having the appearance that they're influencing the president. Like right now, Ben Shapiro, I was watching him. He was on with Megyn Kelly today. And I can't stand Ben Shapiro. No one likes Ben Shapiro. I do agree with him when it comes to Israel, but I don't like him at all. I think he's an annoying person. To be a personality, you have to have some likability to you. Even if you're someone who's not, like if you're a villain. If you watch a television show or a movie, there's a term called an anti-hero. That's like the bad guy that everybody likes and supports, like the star of the show. There's got to be some redeeming quality. Ben Shapiro has 0 redeeming qualities. There's nothing about Ben Shapiro that is in the least bit likable. And he's always been that way. His following and support is just through spending millions of dollars advertising his program and pushing it to everybody on all the platforms. And I've noticed with him, and I saw this with Megyn Kelly, and this is one of the most annoying qualities that media people can have. There's a smugness in his face, of a very conceited, in love with himself thing. And I've listened to Ben Shapiro over the last week more than I normally would, because all this stuff that's been going on the last week with the files and the list and everything. And he has always been a never Trumper. I know he claims not to be now, but he's been a never Trumper. During the first campaign, he wrote a article that was headlined, a column, an opinion piece, and it was titled "Why I Will Never Vote for Donald Trump." And he was a big supporter that the Stormy Daniels claims were accurate, okay, and all that stuff, that were true. He believes Stormy Daniels. Can you imagine? But now, President Trump has been doing very good things for Israel, and Ben Shapiro, the smugness with Ben Shapiro, he thinks he's manipulating Donald Trump. He thinks he's pushing Donald Trump into doing certain things in support of Israel. You can tell he's so smug and in love with himself. And this praise that he's given for President Trump all the time it's so fake. Have you noticed this? I mean, there's a lot of these guys. Now, Charlie Kirk is loyal to President Trump. He's done, I don't think he has to prove it. He's very loyal to Donald Trump. He's done a lot. He's one of the 10 people, and he's high up on that list, whose name's not Trump, that's responsible for the re-election of Donald Trump. Everything he did with Turning Point USA, he has organized the youth vote. Trump won the youth support, but Charlie Kirk's done a good job of organizing it with these Turning Point chapters that are on all the college campuses. They even have Turning Point chapters at high schools. And, Charlie Kirk has done amazing work for the MAGA movement. He just screwed up over the weekend and made one mistake. And, it could have been worse. There's been people that have done worse things. So I accept his apology. You guys accept Charlie? Not that he needs us. He's really apologizing to the president. And he's nervous that he's on the outs with Trump, because even after President Trump put out that tweet, "Don't talk about Epstein, stop bashing Bondi," he continued to do it. Right? Now, Bongino on Friday said he was going to quit. He obviously didn't quit. And he and Trump talked to him. And I was telling you guys over the weekend, I did some live streams over the weekend talking about everything that was going on as it was breaking. And I told you guys, I said, if you go back and watch The Apprentice and The Celebrity Apprentice, Trump hates quitters. He does not like quitters. Why do you think Sarah Palin isn't part of the Trump team in either of these terms? He's had her at an event or two. Why do you think Sarah Palin's not part of his team, ever? You know why? Because she resigned from being governor. She couldn't take the heat. She was being harassed by the Democrats, and she resigned. She didn't finish her term. And she quit. He doesn't like quitters. And that's why President Trump has done some events with Sarah Palin a couple times. Not too much, but does it because he doesn't like quitters. And if Dan Bongino would have quit, that would have been such a disaster for him. He would have destroyed he would have gone back to doing his show, and he would have destroyed himself and his show. Because what would have happened with Bongino is, if he quit over the weekend and was back on his podcast, he would first be talking about why he left, and he was upset with Pam Bondi and all of that. And that would be the whole week and part of next week. But in the third week, what would he be talking about? Or the fourth week? This is how these things progress. He would have become a critic of President Trump. Oh, I'm MAGA, I support Trump, but he shouldn't do this. But he would never have been able to return to his former glory. And I bet you Trump told him that when he talked to him on the phone over the weekend. He told Bongino, you're going to be known as a quitter. And what are you going to do? How are you going to go back to doing what you were doing when you're a quitter? And you quit, exactly. Exactly. So he stayed. Had a little temper tantrum and stayed. So, this is what you guys got to understand. And this is not the last time this is going to happen. This is just another time that the same thing has happened. If you go back to most of the things that these bad people have done to our great President Trump, most of it has been an effort to try to turn us against him, right? The Democrats, the never-Trumpers, the Bush Republicans, they always have some scheme that they think is going to turn Trump supporters against Trump, right? Oh, if we get him arrested, the Bragg arrest the first time. Once he's arrested, hey, these are conservative people. They support law and order. Once he's been arrested and charged with crimes, they'll drop him because they don't support criminals. So when the Bragg thing happened in New York in that first arrest, his support got stronger. So then they told themselves, well, okay, but we didn't get the mugshot. If we could just get the mugshot, because without the mugshot, it wasn't like real. So if we get a mugshot of Trump, then those MAGA supporters, they'll drop him because they're law and order people. We just didn't get the mugshot. We didn't get the mugshot from Bragg. We didn't get it from the Miami court. So Fannie Willis in Fulton County gets the mugshot, and Trump makes it like his official portrait. And I mean, I've got 2 or 3 T-shirts with it on it. I mean, everybody, it made him even stronger. So, and there, I could go on and give examples of this on and on for an hour, but everything they do is well, between the times when they're shooting him, shooting at him, and doing things like that, most of what they do is thinking, okay, these MAGA, they're going to wake up and they're going to stop supporting him. And that's what this was doing. Over the past 3, 4, 5 days, they thought this was going to be the next thing to turn us against him. And you know what? It didn't, right? It made you love him more and support him more, didn't it? The haters are going to hate. The never-Trumpers are going to be never-Trumpers. The Democrats are going to be Democrats. But the Trump supporters, no matter what, are going to stand by him. And anyone who tells you, oh, yeah, I voted for him, but this is too much, they're liars. They never supported him, okay? That's fake MAGA. My name is Brian. We're going to take a quick break and be right back after this with your calls and a whole bunch more. Don't go anywhere. All right, welcome back, everyone. My name is Brian Craig. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure that you follow and subscribe on whatever platform you're listening to us on. All right, I'm going to take a call or two before I bring up some new issues. If you want to call the show, follow me on YouTube. The Brian Craig Show is on all podcast platforms. Just search for The Brian Craig Show. But I stream the podcast live on my YouTube channel, Brian Craig Show. And if you watch me on YouTube live, you can call me live on the program. All right, let's go to the phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, this is Frank from Titusville, Florida.
Hey, Frank, what's up?
I got a pretty simple question for you. Maybe I misunderstood what you were saying, but I was just wondering, is it possible to truly support Donald Trump and to just disagree with maybe a direction he's going with something?
Nope.
Because that's kind of the way I feel.
Nope.
I mean, I voted for him. I love the guy, but I do feel that Pam Bondi is a liability.
Nope.
And I mean, does that make me not a Trump supporter? I just want to understand.
That's correct. That's correct. That makes you not a Trump supporter. There's the midterm elections are coming. Trump's doing very well. He came out with an incredible thing for Europe today. We're not giving weapons to Ukraine anymore, right? Like they're getting a bunch of Patriot missiles. The European Union is buying them from us to give to Ukraine. I mean, that's a big move. He's doing big stuff. Coming up, before you know it, we're going to be in the midterm election season, okay? We control both houses, barely. The party in power typically loses control of the Congress during midterms, but what Trump is doing is so unique and so popular, we may be able to maintain and gain. What do you think is Trump's most valuable power when we go into the midterms? What do you think?
I'm guessing you're saying his support. Maybe I'm missing where you're going with this.
Okay,
I don't know.
I'll tell you. What's most important, the power of Donald Trump's, when we get into the midterms, the most important power of his is the power of his endorsement. He could take losers like Ron DeSantis, who's getting creamed, endorse him, and next thing you know, he's the governor, right? And if we have people like you saying, well, I support Trump, but I'm fed up with this direction, his endorsement becomes weakened, and we need that endorsement power. So no, you cannot go against Trump on anything and call yourself a Trump supporter. No, you cannot. Does that make sense?
To be clear, I have no intention of voting for anyone other than Trump. I mean, that's
or who he says to vote for. But do you understand the point I'm making?
Sort of. I mean, I'm trying. I'm not trying to be one of those confrontational callers or anything like that. I mean, just because I do stand by virtually everything that he does, but it's just I don't like the way that Bondi has handled this whole situation, and I feel.
But you know what? But you know who? But you know who does like it? The way she's handled it?
I'm guessing Trump is what you're going to say.
President Trump has told us 2 or 3 times in the last 2 or 3 days that she's doing a great job. He supports her and stop going after her. Mm-hmm. And he knows what she's doing more than we do. We just know some surface stuff. He knows everything that's going on.
No, and I don't try to claim that I know everything here. I mean, it's just I don't like the optics of this on the surface level.
I get it.
I got to say that.
Yeah. 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 All right. Hey, listen, thanks for the call.
But I would certainly never vote against Trump. I love the guy. I voted him for all 3 terms, and hey, I'd be right there on the 4th one if he decided to go again.
And when in these elections around the country for House members, senators, as well as state level offices, he's going to be traveling around doing Trump rallies, endorsing people. And that endorsement needs to mean something. And to sit around and say, well, I support Trump, but he's been doing this wrong or that wrong, it weakens his endorsement. And that's self-destructive for us and our country.
Well, I'm also not someone that really goes onto social media and, makes my voice heard. I mean, these are just more thoughts in my head than anything that I'm going to say out publicly. This is the most public I think I've ever spoken about it right here.
Well, that's awesome. You're doing good. Call me again sometime. You're a good caller.
All right, thank you.
All right, take care. All right, yeah. If you want to call in, if you're watching live on YouTube, the toll-free number is pinned in the live chat. It's 888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Isaac. I'm calling from Iowa.
All right, Iowa. What's on your mind?
I'm just wondering about your hat. Is that satire or like a joke or is it something serious?
Well, the hat that I'm wearing, it says Trump 2028.
Yes.
No, it's not satire.
I mean, because Trump can't be the president in 2028.
Sure he can.
How is it not satire?
Sure he can.
I mean, right now he can't.
But he could be in 28.
It's not going to happen.
Really? They said a lot of things about Trump. He's in the White House again after 4 years off. They said that wouldn't happen. There he is. Judge Mershon would, if Trump wasn't president right now, Judge Mershon would have sent him to prison. He'd be in prison right now. Oh, he hung up. He hung up. The Constitution can be amended to allow things like this to happen, okay? The Constitution has been amended 27 times. We could amend it again. And there's a lot of great constitutional amendments that have created a lot of great things. So the Constitution could be, the guy hung up on himself. The Constitution could be amended to allow Trump to run for a third term. I support Trump being president for life. I mean, I'd be very happy with it. Wouldn't you? Why would you not be? Now, we're in some trouble, though, in the city of New York, all right? Zohan up there. And he got himself in some trouble today, which I'm going to play that for you in just a few minutes. But Governor Cuomo, who was just creamed in the primary, he's officially now running for mayor as an independent. I got to tell you, the egos of these people. We have two independents running now. We've got Governor Cuomo and the current mayor, Mayor Adams, is running as an independent. And, of course, we've got Curtis Sliwa, who, come on, that's hopeless. So, I'm assuming at some point President Trump's going to get involved in this and offer a job to Cuomo or to Mayor Adams so we can only have one person running against Zohan. Okay, we cannot split the vote. That will put Zohan in the mayor's office in Gracie Mansion, and that would be the beginning of the end for the great city of New York. All right, let's take some more of these calls. Let's see here. I've lost track of who's called in what order. My apologies. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? I can't hear you. Hold on a sec. Okay, there you go. You're on. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name's Arnold from Tabamogushi, Nova Scotia.
Okay, I heard the laugh, and that's all I need to hear is him giggling with a friend in the background. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, I'm Dan. I'm calling from Connecticut.
All right, Dan. What's on your mind? Hold on, Dan. Let me answer some of these calls. All right, hold on. Dan in Connecticut. What's on your mind?
Yeah, you said that Trump can, make changes to a lot of things, but I just want to know if that changes your mind on whether or not you would suck his dick or not.
Oh, isn't that nice? You want to giggle? Oh, he hung up. You wanted to hear the giggle? You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name's Joe. I'm calling from Maine.
Joe in Maine. What's on your mind?
Well, I got to know. You've got the 2028 hat on.
Yes.
You were just talking about changing the Constitution.
Yeah.
But as soon as anyone mentions anything about changing the Second Amendment, everyone loses their absolute mind.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I just need to know if we can finally just admit that we want to ball up the Constitution, throw it in the trash, rewrite it to the way that we want it to, and install Trump as a permanent dictator.
No.
Can we all
No.
Now,
There's a difference. Okay. There's a difference between the Second Amendment and the I can't remember which number is the amendment that limits the presidency to 2 terms. There's a couple of differences, okay?
Why? They're amendments of the Constitution. There's not a difference. We don't pick and choose the
Sure.
ones that we like and throw away the ones that we don't.
There are amendments that like, for example, prohibition that outlawed alcohol. That was a constitutional amendment. Another amendment was passed a decade later, overturning that amendment. There's a history of that, but there's some differences.
Right. So let's overturn the Second Amendment.
Good luck with that. No, there's a difference between the term limit amendment
Well, we're
and
overturning the Fourth Amendment.
Excuse me.
We're
Excuse me. Excuse me, I'm trying to answer your question. Can you let me get the thought out and then disagree? This isn't Jeopardy where you got to buzz in, all right, to get the correct answer. You'll have time to respond. I'm answering your question, okay? Do you know how long we've had term limits on presidents?
It's irrelevant. We have term limits on presidents.
No. Do you know? So you don't know? You don't know? Okay. It was when Truman was president. He was FDR's last vice president, and he was president. It was in the 50s. So for most of our nation's history, presidents could run for as many terms as they wanted. It's just something new that came about in the 50s. The Second Amendment.
Right. It's called progress.
Well, but you can amend the Constitution. The Second Amendment, though, is different. Okay? The Second Amendment, sure it is. The Second Amendment isn't just a regular amendment, and I don't mean that by, all of them are important, but the Second Amendment is one of the first 10 amendments, which makes up our what? The first 10 amendments of the Constitution are our what? You know what they are?
Well, for some, they're the American commandments.
No. Well, yeah, but no. The first 10 amendments of the Constitution are known as the Bill of Rights. Those are the Bill of Rights, okay? When they first wrote and amended the Constitution in 1787, the Bill of Rights was the first 10 amendments to the Constitution. Those are at another level than other amendments down the road. These are amendments, the first 10 in the bill, which are the Bill of Rights, that were given to us by the great founders of our great nation. So those are on another level.
Let's take a step back and talk about 4 and 5.
What about them? That's part of the Bill of Rights too.
Well,
have they been overturned?
Right.
I missed that. When have they been overturned?
They're not being overturned, but they're being violated on our television screens every single day.
What do you mean? Tell me when. I missed it. I watch the news a lot. Tell me.
Okay, well, we've got masked individuals who are going into buildings and Home Depot parking lots and on fields, shaking people down, asking to prove their identity, and then arresting them and pulling them away.
Okay, that is a couple...
about as a violation of the Fourth Amendment as you can possibly
Yeah, this thing about masks, it was just 5 years ago, we were required by local laws, ordinances, and orders of governments to wear masks. Right? There was like a mask law requirement just like 5 years ago. You remember that. Now all of a sudden you lefties think they're bad?
Well, take the word mask out of my last
Okay, no,
statement.
but why? No, I want to talk about the masks. Why do you think the ICE agents are wearing masks?
Because the last thing that they want to do is be pointed out for violating constitutional rights.
The reason they're wearing masks, okay, they are dealing with, they're going after people that are not Americans, right? Many of them are violent criminals, part of international terror organizations, MS-13 and the Trinity guys, but some of them are not part of those groups.
Right,
but they're hold on, let me finish. I'm responding to what you brought up. The masks, this is a very important thing.
But you're responding with misinformation and not giving me an opportunity to correct that misinformation.
Well, yeah, you're not going to correct every syllable. I'm going to finish my thought, and then you can correct it all, okay, with your liberal delusions. Some of the ICE agents...
I didn't come and insult you. There's no reason to insult each other, man. This is a man-to-man conversation.
Okay, all right.
You don't have to call me delusional.
Okay, whatever. When these deportations first started, they weren't wearing masks, and there were a couple of ICE agents who were doxxed. They tracked down their families through social media. That's why they're wearing masks, to protect their families.
Right. Now, let's go back to the actual point, which is we are violating people's Fourth Amendment right, which is guaranteed to us whether we're, a naturally born citizen or born in another country. If your feet are on this soil, that Constitution and the first 10 amendments, they are granted to you regardless.
Well, yeah, but there's the due process.
That's where I'm wondering.
Yeah.
That's where I'm wondering why a lot of folks haven't just come out and said, you know what, let's change the Fourth Amendment so we can just go in and
everyone that's illegal, that's being arrested, detained, and deported is going through a due process in the immigration system. The process that they the process that they go through is a different process than you or I or a legal immigrant would go through. but it's still due process.
They're being put on a plane, and they're being put on a plane without due process.
No, there's due process. It's just a different process than you and I would go through.
They are being robbed of due process.
No. In fact, they're robbing us.
You can't just take somebody off of a field and put them on a plane and send them to
That's not what
Venezuela
happens.
and say
That's
they
not
had
what
due
happens.
progress.
That's not what happens. They do investigations. They determine who they are. They determine if they're here legally or not. And then they go through the process, whether it's at Alligator Alcatraz or a detention center in California.
Just call it Alligator Auschwitz.
No, I'm not going to call it that.
Real.
It's Alligator Alcatraz.
I am.
It's America.
Auschwitz. Let's get real.
Really? You mean they're exterminating people in the showers and putting their bodies in ovens like in Auschwitz? I missed that.
We just got started, didn't we?
I was there, and right now, it's we've got a rainstorm coming across Florida. It's raining like nobody's business. Are you suggesting that they're exterminating people at Alligator Alcatraz? Do you really believe that?
I am suggesting that what we are doing is a complete violation of humanitarian rights.
Okay.
And it will not surprise me. It will not surprise me when people start disappearing who are in Alligator Auschwitz.
No one is disappearing. No one is disappearing. Who's disappeared? I know you're even laughing at your own self. Hey, listen, I appreciate the call. I got to run for a break, but yeah, he's laughing at his own point. I don't blame him. If you're new to the program, welcome. My name is Brian Craig. If you're on hold, stand by. There's one opening on the board. We'll take a quick break and be right back. On Saturday, first treatment Thursday, second treatment on Saturday, and then Monday, he was gone. And 3 years coming in August, because the laser treatment doesn't just reduce pain, it repairs the damage that's causing pain. It's amazing. It works. And he's rid me of pain 6 times after that for a total of 7. We have listeners who travel literally all over the United States. Every type of pain I've ever heard of. Arthritis, which by the way, you rid me of arthritis. Bursitis, organ injury, strains and sprains. Throat surgery, swelling, neck and back injuries, knee conditions, tinnitus, sciatica, spinal stenosis, fibromyalgia, plantar fasciitis, rotary tears, herniated disc, acute pain, chronic pain, and any type of pain. Give them a call. Now remember, appointments are not necessary. Walk-ins are welcome. Even on Saturdays. Give them a call and say bye-bye to your pain. 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. And online, CaroCairo.com.
Are you longing for something ancient? Something real? Author Gisela Rose invites you on a sacred path of remembrance, healing, and transformation in the book Elixir, A Journey into Ancestral Alchemology. Available on Amazon, Elixir will guide you to uncover the hidden patterns etched into your lineage and within your body. When you read Elixir, you'll explore how earth, water, fire, and air shape your inner landscape and discover how to transmute memory into embodied wisdom. Whether you're a mystic, healer, seeker, or simply someone yearning to reconnect with the roots beneath your feet and the rhythm within your bones, Elixir is your next must-read book. Order your copy right now on Order your copy today.
All right, welcome back. If you're on hold, stand by. You know, I've been telling you, we had, right before I went live here on the podcast, we had a wind gust come in the front of my house that had to be tropical storm level wind gust. It's hurricane season. It's raining. It's thundering. And this is every day in Florida during rainy season in the afternoon. That's just the way it is. If you have a wet spot on your ceiling, I don't care if it's the size of a quarter, you've got a leak in your roof, you want to call Tom Laporta at Laporta Roofing. He's a good MAGA guy. He'll never sell you a roof you do not need, meaning if you just need a simple repair, he will do it. He covers both the east and west coast of Florida and everywhere in between. This number, it rings directly to his cell phone, which is really amazing. I mean, he's got a big old company, and you're getting the owner's cell phone number. You can call or text him right now, 954-604-4602. 954-604-4602. And you can go to his website, laportaroofing.com. All right, let's go back to our phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi.
Yep, speak up.
Sorry.
All right. Yeah, oh, you missed your chance. I'm sorry. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, I think I lost.
Okay. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian. It's Jack again from Sarasota. How's
Yep.
it going?
All right.
Oh, boy. I can only imagine how rough it's been. I totally forgot to call in and watch the show earlier, so the topic, I'm assuming, was Charlie Kirk and...
Well, the way the show works is you listen to the show, you hear me say something that inspires you to call, and then you call in, all right? But since you haven't been listening, you're certainly not, I'm not going to review the show just for you. All right. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian. It's Jogn for 9 out of California.
Hey, what's up, California?
Great show as always. Thank you very much for doing these afternoon shows. In regards to a previous caller of yours, obviously he doesn't know very much about the founding fathers and the documents that they created and the importance of them, obviously, that grant him his rights. And obviously, hopefully he's still listening, because guess what? You're not supposed to own a firearm or be sold a firearm if you're an illegal alien. It's forbidden.
Yeah.
That is a right that is given to somebody who is a citizen. So in regards to all of these rights stepping foot on this soil, no.
I don't know what the law is about legal immigrants owning or possessing weapons. I don't know the answer to that.
That is a different story because...
Oh, if you're in the country illegally, yeah, you cannot possess or own a firearm. That is correct.
Exactly. So you can step on this soil and have certain rights, but you do not possess the same rights as a American citizen.
Listen, here's what the liberals will never accept. There's a different process for illegals to be processed and have due process than somebody who's in the country legally or a U.S. citizen. It's still due process. It's just a different process. And what the liberals want is a long, drawn-out process that lasts until someone else is president. They hope a Democrat, so that they can be released into the country. They just want to drag things out. You know, it doesn't work that way.
Well, I love what he's doing. I'll wait for Epstein. Whatever comes of it, comes of it. But when I checked the box or the colored in the little ball, I wasn't thinking about Epstein. I was thinking about getting individuals out of my country because they're causing us to go bankrupt.
Yeah.
I was thinking about the hospitals that are being overrun. I'm thinking about the people that.
Well, and I was a little concerned that those Trump tax cuts were going to expire, which now have not only been renewed in the big beautiful bill, but many of them, most of them, have been made permanent. I was concerned about that. We all want to, and of course, we got no tax on tips and no tax on overtime, a humongous tax deduction for those on Social Security. So things are going very well.
The Democrats don't have anything. They don't have anything. They have no leadership. They didn't even have any ideas to run on. They had to steal them from Donald Trump. Remember, Kamala came up with no tax on tips after Donald Trump ended up saying it. they have nothing. They're not going to be whatever.
And you know what? You know what Kamala? You know what tax Kamala really wanted to get rid of was that tax on wine, because you know she buys so much of it. It's even at her level of wealth, she's paying a lot of money on that alcohol tax. Appreciate the call. Thanks so much. Let me go back to the phones. 1-888-465-2631 is the number. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Jane.
Jay?
Yeah, you got it right.
Okay.
So I heard you saying some shit about, first off.
Could you not use profanity? Could you have to use profanity? I mean, come on, show some class.
I can tone it down.
Yeah, please. Show some class.
So the first thing is you keep blaming it on liberals. It isn't a liberal problem. It isn't a Democrat problem. It's the 1% problem. They want everything. It doesn't matter if you're a Democrat. It doesn't matter if you're Republican. They want it all from us. You got to understand that, brother.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, you know, and my wife was just sent me a text. My wife's listening. She made a good point. You know, these a lot of these, you know, like that last guy. Oh, they're not getting the due process. Millions of these illegals that are being deported were given court dates, sometimes many years ago, they never showed up for. Right? So they were given a process in a court, and they never even showed up.
Well, you know, some people, you know, I don't believe that. I don't think that all immigrants in here are going to be working class American citizens, you know, people who want to be Americans and love this country. Of course, there's going to be some rotten apples, but you know, at the end of the day, they're not coming just for they're not coming just for immigrants and liberals. They're coming for all of us.
That's true. That's true. You made a good point. Take care. Appreciate the call. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
I'm Madeline. I'm calling from Virginia.
Hey, Madeline. What's up?
Hi. There's so many things I don't know where to start, but the girl who called in, the young girl who talked about Democrats screwing up the economy. Why is it that Republican voters, MAGA, all of you, don't understand trickle down? See, I'm 62, okay? So back in, say, 1989, 1990, that time period, people were walking around with loads of cash because I had a business. I was a hairdresser. I had my own business. Just dropping money everywhere. Reagan comes in. Now, answer me. This is crazy. I never understood it, and I'm not an economist. Trickle-down economics. Everybody had all this money. But the Republicans said, hey, give it to us. Okay, give it to the corporations.
Yeah.
Who don't have your best interest at heart, and we'll make a lot of money and trickle it back down.
Okay. I'll explain it. I'll explain it to you. Okay. I want to explain trickle down economics.
I understand it. You don't have to explain trickle
down. No, you don't. No, you don't. You have no idea. You have no understanding. Listen to this. Oh my goodness.
Why did you just vote to give more money to billionaires?
Billionaires? Yeah. What are you talking about? No tax on tips. You're telling me billionaires are working as waitresses? No tax on tips?
I know. I have lived through these economies and
Wait a minute. You said tax cuts for billionaires. No tax on tips. Waitresses are billionaires?
Billionaires. You just voted for your taxes to go up.
No, my taxes are down. My taxes are down.
You pay at least 30%, right?
I'm not telling you what I pay in taxes.
How much do billionaires pay? How much do billionaires pay?
They pay more. Let me explain. No, they pay nothing. No, they don't. I know exactly what I'm talking about.
Go educate yourself. You don't know anything about trickle down.
I know exactly what I'm trying to tell you.
Just now voted.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. How long have you been divorced?
Fuck you. Let me.
Oh yeah. See, I knew. See, I didn't know. How did I know she was divorced? Listen to her. Listen to that. Oh my goodness. Okay. I'm going to explain the trickle-down economic theory to you guys, okay? Guys, I've been doing this for 35 years, okay? I've heard all the stories, okay? I can tell all about people. I'm not nice. She's just dropped an F-bomb towards me. Okay, here's the story. Here's trickle-down economics, okay? You get paid on Friday. You go to the bank. What do? What do? You go out. You go to the movies, right? This is trickle-down economics. What do? You go to the movies. Maybe you went and saw that Superman movie. I didn't. I'll wait for it to be free on TV or something. You go to the movie theater, you buy movie tickets. Boom. Your money has just trickled down to the movie house owner. That movie house owner, what do they do with it? They pay their employees. It's trickled down from you to the movie house owner. It's trickled down to the people that work at the movie theater. And then what do? They go to the gas station and fill the car up with gas. Go inside and buy a Coke or a Pepsi or a Big Gulp. Their money trickled down to the gas station owner. The gas station owner, it trickles down to his employees. You can go round and round on this. Trickle-down economics is a different way to say capitalism, right? It's capitalism. That's what trickle-down economics is. All right? If you're on hold, hang in there. Now, I want to tell you guys, if you want to get a good night's sleep, get yourself a 3-inch MyPillow mattress topper. You know, you can get a 3-inch MyPillow mattress topper with my promo code Kane at checkout, Kane, at mypillow.com for 30% off. I've been sleeping on my MyPillow mattress topper, as has my wife next to me, for years. I get about 4 hours of sleep a night, between 4 and 5 hours, depending on what night of the week. You know, what the MyPillow mattress topper does, it turns your entire bed into a big MyPillow. So that 4 to 5 hours of sleep I get every night is deep, well-rested sleep because of that mattress topper. You know, it comes with a 60-day money-back guarantee, a 10-year warranty. It's machine washable and dryable, and it will change your life, let me tell you. You know, when I was a kid growing up, and I know a lot of you are old enough to remember this, you used to be able to flip mattresses. Remember that? Remember the days when you could flip a mattress? You'd have a mattress, and then, you know, for whatever reason, it got lumpy, lopsided or something, and you'd flip it over, and then it was like having a brand new mattress. Well, years ago, the mattress companies, they got real wise to that. You can't flip mattresses anymore. It's like a box spring underneath, right? So if you've got, and mattresses are expensive. If you have a lumpy, bumpy mattress, a lopsided mattress, or think you need a new mattress, go to mypillow.com. Get your 3-inch MyPillow mattress topper. It comes in every mattress size there is. Use my promo code Kane at checkout, Kane, and get 30% off. You can also order by phone, toll-free, 1-800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879. Promo code Kane, Kane. All right, you'll thank me, I'm telling you. Let's go back to the phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name's Kelly. I'm calling from Indiana.
Okay, Kelly, what's on your mind?
I want to talk to the guy who's on the video right now.
That's me.
That's what it says.
That's me. You're talking to me.
You?
That's me.
Okay, here's the problem. This is the problem I have with Trump, okay? I don't have a problem with
He's a
MAGA.
strong, manly man.
Care.
You have a problem with
No,
strong
I'm
men?
not. What I want to do is get to the heart of the matter. That man is lining his pockets with everybody's money. I haven't paid taxes my whole entire adult life to pay for his golfing trips, for what he's putting in the White House. He's tearing things up. He's got a plane now, and he's got to refurbish it. I'm not paying taxes for that.
Okay, I got a question for you, okay? You say you're paying for Trump's golfing. Name a president in your lifetime who did not play golf.
Yeah, but millions and millions of dollars a year.
Well, wait a minute. Hold on. You don't like him because he plays golf, and I asked you to name a president in your lifetime that didn't play golf.
I don't like him.
Of course, because he's a strong man. He's a strong, manly man, and you know that's obviously. Is that the woman that dropped the F-bomb to me? It sounds like it. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Chris, calling from Kentucky.
Yeah, you called me.
This is Chris. I'm waiting on hold.
No, you're on the air, Chris, in Kentucky.
Okay, I just heard you ask that lady, what president hasn't golfed?
No, I said what president. She had a complaint. She says I don't like Trump. Tax money pays for his golfing. I asked her a question.
Yes.
I said name a president in your lifetime who did not golf, and she couldn't do it.
Okay, yeah, because you try to get people with gotcha questions all the time. I get it.
No,
But
it's
now-
just, it's not a
but-
gotcha question.
Yeah,
It's just,
no, like the other day, you tried to get me with Jefferson Davis, and he's literally from the same city I live in, so I was ready to go. And
So
then you were
what?
like, oh, okay, and then you hung up on me.
you're a
But-
fan
but
of
here's
you're a
the
fan
thing.
of Jefferson.
If you-
Jefferson Davis led an insurrection against the
No,
United States
no,
government.
Exactly. I agree with you. He's a piece of shit, and I'm glad you can say
Please, enough of the profanity, guys. Come on. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, this is Nate. I am from Louisiana, and I am an activist.
Oh, yeah, okay, that's good. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air.
Hello, can you hear me?
I can.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm from Quebec, and I wanted to ask you, what is it that makes Trump an actually compelling president for you that you would want to vote for him in 2028?
Well, he is the first president of the United States, okay? And I'm going all the way back to George Washington. He is the first president of the United States who isn't owned by the big money special interest of the time. And what he does is directly to help the American people. No other president has done that, not at this level. That's why.
Okay, what has he done to help the American people that was better than George Washington winning the country?
He wasn't president then. He wasn't president then. He wasn't president then.
Well, he wasn't president then, yeah, but I mean, okay, well, let's say the FDR winning World War II.
FDR was dead when World War II ended.
Yeah, but it was he was the leader.
No, he was
during
dead.
World
No, he
War.
wasn't
He's
he
one
wasn't the
that
leader. He
was
was
the
dead.
homie.
He died. He was dead.
Right, but if he was alive as the president.
No, a lot of people believe he got us into the war on purpose.
Is that an accurate statement, or is that a...
Well, we don't know for a fact, but I do know this. When Pearl Harbor was bombed, the ships that were bombed, most of them were World War I clunkers, junkers, old ships. The most modern naval vessels in December of 1941 were America's aircraft carriers. They were all at sea. None of them were in Pearl Harbor. Find that a little convenient.
Okay, is that evidence that there was a conspiracy involved?
A lot of people believe that is very possible, and I also believe that it's possible.
I'm asking what you believe, though.
I believe it's very possible, yeah. FDR wanted us in that war really bad. And plus, he was president. He was elected 4 times. He's not a good person to point to oppose another term for Trump.
Right, but then it was after FDR that they made that put that into the Constitution that the president.
What is your beef? What's your beef with Trump? I understand you're Canadian. You don't like Trump. Canadians don't like Trump these days, right?
Well, I mean, I'd say Canadians kind of taking on the taco mentality and aren't as worried about
tacos. What do you mean? You guys eat tacos up there now? You giving up the Canadian bacon and maple syrup for tacos? What does that mean?
Oh yeah, man, tacos taste good. Anyway, well then, what about if you're not going to go with FDR? What about I don't know, Lyndon Baines Johnson?
Lyndon Johnson was one of the worst presidents the United States has. You know, with Lyndon Johnson did many things that were god-awful. 58,000 Americans died in Vietnam because of Lyndon Johnson.
Okay, but he did also give civil rights to black people.
No, he didn't give civil rights to black people. No, he didn't give civil rights to black people. It was voted on in the United States Congress. Every Republican voted for it, and the Democrats opposed it. But Lyndon Johnson created the modern welfare system, which destroyed the African American family. And the war on poverty created lots of poverty, and we're still suffering from that. Now, Lyndon Johnson was god-awful. What are they teaching you guys in Canada about American presidents? Not very good stuff. You're learning like alt history.
Well, Quebec will mostly stick to the Quebec history, to tell you the truth. What about
not Roosevelt. I always get those two mixed up. The friggin' guy with the mustache took down the trust. What was his name again?
You're promoting him. You give me the name. You're talking about? Are you talking about Teddy Roosevelt? Talking about Teddy Roosevelt? Teddy Roosevelt? Yeah, Teddy Roosevelt was the cousin of Franklin Roosevelt, and a Republican. He was okay. Yeah. I like Teddy Roosevelt, but he's no Trump.
What is Trump doing that's better than anything?
I told you. I gave you a great example. Plus, he shut down our border. No illegals have come across the southern border for over a month. He got you Canadians to stop bringing in drugs from our northern border, and he exposed that Canada has been completely supported off of the United States for decades. He's ending that. He's doing great stuff.
Well,
you know, the United States is funding your entire socialized healthcare system is paid for by us.
They come from Mexico and shit. They don't come from Canada.
Yeah, sure. We're paying for your defense. Canada's not paying their dues to the NATO alliance. Also, Canada is not paying their dues for the North American alliance that they have with the United States. We're protecting you. Your entire healthcare system is being funded by the United States. You've been ripping us off with tariffs, over 100% on some products for decades. He stopped it.
Well, we still have those particular tariffs, but that's on a quota that was never reached. So the tariffs didn't actually end up.
You've been ripping us off. You've been ripping us off for a long time, Canada, and he woke us up to that. The Americans had no idea that Canada was living off of the United States.
Given how unpopular this weird hate boner he has for Canada is.
Well, because you've been ripping us off.
In what way? The quota was never reached.
There's a lot of things. No, Canada, I told you, you're not paying for your own national defense. We're covering it. You're not paying your NATO dues. That's a lot of money, and we've been banking your whole defense of your country. Hey, listen, I appreciate the call. All right, take care. If you're on hold, hang in there. Now, I do have some. I do want to mention before I get to some other stories and some calls. If you'd like to support my channel, become a Patreon supporter. There's a link to my Patreon page in the description of the video. And if you become a Patreon supporter, you have access to commercial-free editions of all of my podcast episodes. Okay? Commercial-free editions of all my podcast episodes are uploaded to my Patreon page. And there's also a lot of other content I upload for Patreon supporters that you don't see anywhere else. My wife and I both upload content all the time, including not just commercial-free editions of the program, but vlogs and videos that I don't upload anywhere else. You see that and a whole bunch more if you're a Patreon supporter. Our top Patreon supporters get a live on-air thank you shout-out on every episode, and on YouTube they get their name on screen and lights. So the names you will hear now are our top Patreon supporters. I want to thank SFjr, Christine, ETW, Chuck, Pamela, Nick, Wesley, Doris, Heather, David, Maria in Texas, Alice, LeeZep, Shawna, George, Brandon, John, Frank, Dale, Tina, David, Laura, Rob, Wes, Sue, and Janice, who's our newest top Patreon supporter who's just joined us. Janice, welcome as a top Patreon supporter. If you want to go directly to the Patreon site, it's patreon.com/Real Brian Craig Show. And again, there's a link to my Patreon page in the description of the video. Now, before I go back to the calls, several people have asked, why do you like Trump so much? What's he done? Here is the great Stephen Miller. Don't you guys love Stephen Miller? He's the best. Oh, man. Here he is on Fox talking about what Trump saved us from and what the Democrats were trying to do through the southern border. Oh, hold on. Let me cue it up again. My apologies. I hit the wrong button. Here we go. Okay, now I've got Stephen Miller queued up. Mm-hmm. That's right.
Social and community cohesion. And then in that rubble, in that chaos, in that conflict, to then try to articulate the need for ever more government control, ever more government redistribution, ever more government power. And then to ultimately import voters to then support that agenda, to import voters who do not believe in limited government, who do not believe in the U.S. Constitution. And that is why you are seeing now this violent, yes, violent insurrectionist revolt by the Democrat Party against immigration and customs enforcement. You see video after video after video of Democrat shock troops in the streets hurling rocks at ICE officers and Border Patrol in their vehicles, firing projectiles at them, violently
Yeah.
assaulting them, and yes, opening fire on them. Multiple assassination attempts against our brave and heroic ICE and Border Patrol agents.
Yeah, that's Steve. Isn't he awesome? And this was on Mark Levin's show on Fox over the weekend, and he's talking about that pot farm incident in California Thursday last week. And what did they have? Child labor on a farm in the hot summer months in California. And and boom, that's what you leftists are supporting, to continue that child labor on farms during the hot summer months. That's what you're supporting? I love Stephen Miller. Isn't he awesome? You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? All right. He gave up. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Scott. I'm calling from Kansas City.
Hey, Scott. What's up?
You've got your ear close to the wire more than I have insofar as Trump and his goings-on. What is the Don going to do with all these things that are flying around that he has to deal with?
Like what?
The BS at the turning point.
That's already settled. If you go back and watch the beginning of the show, in the first segment, I cover all that. He's taking care of it.
I missed that. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. That's okay. That's okay. But go rewind the show and listen to the first segment. I go through it all. I break it down.
You covered anything about the Elon and his third-party poison pill?
When's the last time you heard about that? That's faded away if you haven't noticed. Just like the Turning Point crap over the weekend's faded away, so has the Elon third party. I haven't heard about that in a week or so.
Now, of course, you're getting little hints here. I knew this was going to come, and you knew this was going to come. The perceptions that the left will throw as far as picking people up and putting them into facilities, even though the left has done it, Obama's done it. Sending, I mean, you're gonna have them saying that ISIS was Stasi. Putting people into camps.
Listen, the left are. It's like what Stephen Miller was talking. This is what they do. It's no problem. We don't care what the Democrats think. They're not in power. We are. Who cares what they think? Doesn't matter. They have no juice, and they don't even really have a following. Right? Their party's falling apart. They're desperate to have something. No, they have no followers. They have no power. Who cares what the Democrats say?
Well, yeah. What do you got to say for a bunch of people that want to turn little boys into little girls?
Well, that's over too. We won that issue. We overturned that issue. We overturned that issue too. Hey, listen, appreciate the call. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? All right, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? All right, once, twice. You missed your chance. All right, let's go. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello, this is,
You sure you forgot your name? Yeah, did you forget your name? All right.
I'm sorry.
You're on the air.
Oh, this is Richard from Arkansas.
Hey, Richard. What's on your mind?
I just personally think Trump's big, beautiful bill is not good for the lower class.
Really? You know, how's it not good for the lower class when there's no taxes on tips, overtime, and those living on Social Security have now gotten a massive tax break? Those are lower income people, and those are major benefits.
Right, but is the tax on tips, is that a permanent thing, or is it going to be?
No, very few taxes are permanent. It lasts many years, and it'll be renewed. Taxes, even the Trump tax cuts the millionaires, the billionaires. That's not even permanent. They don't make all these things permanent. I don't know why it works out that way, but there's no tax on tips now. There's no tax on overtime now. Thanks to Trump.
Right, but
if it wasn't for President Trump and the big beautiful bill, there would be tax on overtime and tips right now.
So Trump made a permanent extension to his 2017 corporate tax cuts.
That's good. That's good. You know, when you get a yeah, that's good.
But why?
When there are tax reductions, what the government is saying to you, and it's kind of crazy, what the government is saying is you are allowed to keep more of your money. When they raise taxes, they're saying we're going to take more of your money from your pocket. Your money is your property, like your car is. What if the government came in and said we want to take 32% of your car, or 32% of your clothes, or 32% of your computers at home? You know?
Well, they already do that through property tax.
No, the president. Well, here in Florida, we're talking about getting rid of property tax in Florida. See, what President Trump is doing through the import-export tariffs, which have just raised billions of dollars, it's amazing. President Trump is looking to eliminate all income taxes. That's what President Trump's goal is, to eliminate income taxes for everyone and run the country on tariffs.
Right, but I don't think tariffs would help, right? Because we see even with like EU countries, they're saying how if these tariffs will go in process, it'll be eliminated trade with the United States.
So what? We don't need we can make everything here. We don't need Europe. What do we need from Europe?
Well,
that we can't make here.
If we don't need anything from Europe, how would we get our tax money from tariffs if we're manufacturing everything?
No, because
here?
they want, without the United States, Europe would collapse. The United States is the largest economy in the world. We're the largest economy in the world by far. We're also the largest consumer nation. We have the largest economy, and we consume more than any other country. All these countries around the world are nothing without us. They want to sell their crap to us. So they'll deal, and they're already making deals. He's made deals with most of them already.
Right, but you were saying how the United States can manufacture everything here and that we don't need other countries.
Pretty much, we could.
Then
there's no tariff.
Yeah. So I'm just saying is why, if we're manufacturing everything here, why would...
Because other countries like Japan and European countries, they're doing things like, they're companies, Japanese companies, European companies, they're building factories in the United States. So you can get a Toyota or a Honda made in the United States, or a BMW made in the United States. There's BMWs made here already.
I'm seeing that other nations are starting to turn more favorably towards China. Have you seen the study?
No, China's a third world country. No, let them. Who cares? See how well that does for them.
Right, but the United States used to be a third world country before the UK, right? When they were a great big power.
We were never a third world country. The United States was never a third world country.
So in the early 1800s or like the late 1700s, right, when the United Kingdom had massive colonies in Africa, they didn't see us as like a poor nation.
No, we were not poor. We were very rich. That's why they wanted us. We had all kinds of money. We had lots of industry. We were rich. We were never third world. We have always been a first world nation, always.
I don't think we were, right?
Man, well, you're wrong. Hey, listen, I appreciate the call, but you're wrong. I want to take a couple more calls before the end here. Let's see. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, man, this is Johnny from Mississippi. I'm a longtime Republican.
Mm-hmm.
I would just like to I want to hear your argument again for trickle-down economics.
I already gave it. I said trickle-down economics is capitalism, right? You get paid, you go and buy something. Your money, your boss's money trickled down to you in your paycheck. You go out and buy something, your money then trickles down again to wherever you spend it. Trickle-down economics is called capitalism. It's not a bad thing, it's the capitalist system. It's just another name for it.
Yes, sir. So what I understand is that, the United States, of course, began in 1776. We've had capitalism ever since, correct?
Yeah.
So the actual term of trickle-down economics didn't arrive until the 1930s, whenever it was used by a man in order to criticize.
So what? It doesn't matter when the term came up. Trickle-down economics, when it's talked about, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter the origin. And hold on a second here. Another guy that's right out of the college book thinks he knows something. It doesn't matter when the term originated. When people talk about trickle-down economics, it's a reference to President Ronald Reagan, who talked about trickle-down economics. And what trickle-down economics means now, and has meant since the 80s when Reagan was president, is it is a definition of capitalism.
It originates from the 1930s with Herbert Hoover.
Well, Herbert Hoover was a great Republican president, and one of the richest men ever to be president. Yeah. No, he handled the Depression fine. FDR didn't handle the Depression correctly. No, FDR mishandled the Depression. Did you know? What did FDR do that was so good? What did Roosevelt do that was so good?
I'm not talking about Roosevelt, am I? I'm talking about
Hoover. He was president after Hoover. No.
I'm talking about trickle-down economics.
Yeah.
He did not incorporate.
No, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're talking about.
I do know what I'm talking about.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
You're getting angry.
I'm not getting angry.
Hey, you gotta listen.
No, I don't, actually. I don't have to listen. I'm choosing to listen, but I don't have to.
It's okay. It's okay, man.
All right, well, if it's okay, we'll move on. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, Brian. This is Nick.
Hey, Nick. How you doing? Oh, my goodness.
Okay. How you doing? You don't have to worry about me using profane language.
I know. What the heck?
I wanted to just say one thing about the trickle-down economic thing. We have a president that understands the economy and understands how finances really operate. I don't think Ronald Reagan, with all due respect, really understood that completely, and he relied on advice by David Stockman and people like that. This guy, he's surrounded by people who really want the country to do well and want everyone to do well, and that's the big difference.
That's right, and the left don't want any of us to do well. They want us to be poor, so we're dependent upon them.
Dependent upon them.
Listen, I gotta run, Nick, because I'm running short on time, but I appreciate the call. All right. Now the rest of you on hold, my apologies, but the show's we're going to wind down now. Now, if you're new to my program, the Brian Craig Show podcast airs on all podcast platforms and also on YouTube. And if you watch the podcast on YouTube, Brian Craig Show on YouTube, you get the program live, and you can call in like these people have been doing on this program. So go to Brian Craig Show, just search that on any podcast platform, you'll find the program, or on YouTube to catch the program live. This is where MAGA comes to talk.